Hello, everybody. This is Noel the Red Devil here. Hope you're all well. We're here for another deadline day stream. So while we've been away, it looks like it's being confirmed that Sergio Reguilon is going to be joining Manchester United. I'm just waiting to confirm that news, but it looks like that could be it for a transfer business. I hope it's not, but we will see. So absolutely, as I said in the last stream, absolutely disgraceful, this transfer window. So I'm just looking at what other teams are bringing in, and we're in serious trouble here. So there you go. Manchester United signed Sergio Reguilon from Tottenham on a season-long loan. So it's a season-long loan now. So we've got three left backs now, essentially. Luke Shaw, Malacia, and now Sergio Reguilon. This club is an absolute joke. We've gotten Sofia Amrabat with an option to buy. We've got him on loan as well. We signed the goalkeeper Altay Bananir from Fenerbahce for 4.3 million. So we'll see if there's any more transfer news, but I reckon that is probably our deals done, unless there is a chance. Apparently, we are scouting around for a striker, but with only a few hours left until the window actually closes, it is looking absolutely shocking, our transfer window. And again, these owners are just absolutely disgraceful. They don't care about this club. We got some breaking news here. Let's see. I'm just hoping that any breaking news comes in is in relation to us, because a lot of fans obviously think that will be it. Sergio Reguilon, this goalkeeper, and obviously Amrabat. And some media already that are mouthpieces for the club, apparently the club are happy with their transfer business. I have to say, I don't know what kind of world you are living in, but this is not a good transfer window. Manchester City have signed Matheus Nunes from Wolves on a 53 million. 53 million they paid for him. They're making moves. Fulham are obviously letting the player go. They're looking at Scott McTominay, but they're also looking at other midfield targets, but they're even strengthening, and they're looking actually pretty decent this season. Newcastle have strengthened. Manchester City have lost key players, but they are strengthening their team. Arsenal have strengthened their team, and we look like we've just brought in has-beens. With the exception of Onana, I don't get the Mason Mount signing. I really don't. I still don't. Amrabat, is he really the type of player we should be going for? I don't think so. We should be going for other players, but this is the state that we're in right now. So this could well be the last bit of transfer business that we do. So I'm just waiting, because normally when the club confirms signings, the club then put out a statement that their business is done. So we'll see if Manchester United's business is done, or with the few hours that they have left, can they actually make some deals? And we will be back later on tonight, folks. We'll be back at 10 o'clock. So come and join me. I'll be finishing up, 10:15 it'll be. So come and join me for the last. Obviously, the window closes at 11, but all the paperwork has to be in by 12. I think it is 12 or 1 a.m. So I think it's 12. So we'll have plenty to talk about. We may, even after the window closes, if we're interested in players, once that paperwork is in at that time, the player will be registered, and then obviously then we just agree all the personal terms and fees and all of that. So it's still viable for Manchester United to get some business done, but I reckon what we've got now is what we're going to be left with, and this transfer window is an absolute shambles. So, you know, the manager, this team, it's going to be hard for them to replicate what they did last season. And I fear that we're going to fall further behind, to be quite honest with you. Amrabat, no, he makes sense as a signing. It's just he's not the caliber of player in that position that we actually need. We need someone a little bit better. But, you know, I saw him during the World Cup with Morocco, and he was a rock in there, and he runs like he's got a lot of energy, and Ten Hag likes players with energy, and he'll give everything for the badge. Look, the guys wanted to sign for United ever since the links have been there. He's been waiting on Manchester United. He's torn down Saudi Arabia. He's torn down Fulham. He's torn down other clubs in Italy. So, you know, there was a lot of interest in him. Look, he's the one signing, though, that I'm saying I'm actually glad we got, because I know he wants to come to the club. And I do think he'll do a job for us. But will he elevate us into, you know, challenging or doing well in cups? I just don't know. I just don't know at all. So we just have to wait and see what happens. But it's, from my point of view, horrible transfer window. Just give us a second there. I just have to do something. There we go. No time for nonsense. Anyway, as I said, not very good transfer for us. So, you know, Tottenham seem to be offloading a couple of players. Of course, we can't even offload their deadwood. This is why I'm going to see if we can manage to get some of this deadwood out of the club. This has been an absolute shambles, without a shadow of a doubt, this transfer window. An absolute shambles. But the club will spin it, you know, as they always do. But the manager is going to find it very hard this season. It's simple as that. And as I said before we left the last stream, you know, we've got to support the manager and the players more than ever, because these owners obviously don't give two flying craps. You know, they're in the Champions League now, and they're happy about that, but they just don't want back their manager. It's absolutely disgraceful. Like, you know, there's Arsenal. Like, I don't rate them, but they were willing to pay the money for Declan Rice because they believed he would do something for them and would improve them. Now, the jury is out on that, but I'm pretty sure Arsenal fans will say that he will do a job and will improve them. But we're going out and we're buying has-beens, someone else's deadwood, because they don't want them. All right, now Reguilon is a good sign, a better fullback than Luke Shaw, but he can't defend to save his life. He's great going forward, but defensively he's awful. And that's the thing. You know, Luke Shaw does get criticised, but, you know, defensively, I think he's better than Reguilon. You know, and Luke Shaw is only out for fucking 3 months. Like, it's not as if, unless the injury is a lot worse than what we've been told now, because why you'd be bringing him in for a year loan, that would leave you with 3 left backs. I mean, we're overloading in some areas, and the areas that we actually need signings in, we're not even getting them. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I just don't. Play 5-3-2. He's not going to play two strikers though. That's the thing. Right? Who can you play? Who can you play there? You're not going to put Rashford there. Rashford is awful centrally. Yeah, you could have him playing off the left, I suppose, but still, it would imbalance the team. We really need to be playing two defensive midfielders. Bruno at the pivot of the attack. The two wingers. Maybe stick another midfielder in there and play a back three or something. But he needs to change something up. With these players, it'll be interesting to see how this kid does. If this kid can hit the ground running and he looks the part, then obviously Rashford plays out on the left and it's less headache for Erik ten Hag. But it's all if, buts and maybes right now, you know. Like, I mean, he's fit to play against us, but will he actually play? Will Erik ten Hag put him in from the beginning? Shaw's too injury prone though. Well, he hasn't been really. I mean, he got the double leg break. That was the double, the leg break, the double break in his leg. I mean, that wasn't his fault. He went in for a tackle there, and I think since he's come back, look, when you get a leg break, it was the same when Valencia got his leg break first. Valencia was never the same player after his leg break, right? It was just impossible to be back to the way he was. And Luke Shaw's the same. But in periods, he has reached that peak where he's just been unstoppable. But he's not consistent enough. But I would rather have Luke Shaw in the team over a player that I just don't deem good enough for our club. I've seen him play at Tottenham. He's a fucking disaster. He's great going forward. Whip-de-doo that day. He's great at whipping across him. Whip-de-doo that. But if teams are catching us on the break like they are because we've got a crap midfield right now because we don't have enough in there, well, then we're in serious trouble, man. We'll be exploited. I'm telling you now, if he's up against Saka on Sunday, Reguilon, he's done. He's done. We're getting beaten heavily, right? I'm telling you now, it's done. You can forget about it. We'll see what happens. I hope to be proven wrong. Listen, if Reguilon and others hit the ground running and we manage to beat you on Sunday, well, then I'll be happy. But I just don't see it right now, folks. So there's 6 hours left, the transfer window. So Chelsea have signed Cole Palmer for 42 million from Manchester City on a 7-year deal with a further option of a year. I mean, Chelsea are really taking the piss in the window, aren't they? Brighton signed Ansu Fati from Barcelona on a season-long loan. I mean, that's probably one of the deals of the transfer window there. Wolves signed Tommy Doyle from Manchester City on loan with a 4.3 million option to buy. Nottingham Forest have signed Nuno Tavares on a season-long loan from Arsenal with a 12 million option to buy. And Aston Villa signed Clement Longley on a season-long loan from Barcelona. Sheffield United signed James McEntee from Manchester City on a season-long loan. Tottenham defender Joseph Tanganga, it hasn't worked out for him there, joins Augsburg on a loan to the end of the season with an obligation to buy. And of course, the big news of the transfer window right now is that Liverpool have rejected a 150 million bid from a team in Saudi Arabia. And we have signed Sergio Reguilon from Tottenham on a season-long loan. We've also reached an agreement with Fiorentina to sign Sofia Amrabat, blah, 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 on loan with an option to buy. And we've also signed goalkeeper from Turkey as well. And that is the state of our transfer window. You add that to Mason Mount. And of course, we did bring in Onana. But let's not forget as well, we gave Johnny Evans a contract extension, right? This is supposed to be a team that was serious about challenging. We ain't challenging for shit this season. Nothing. We're not getting into the top 4 now, right? Before the season started, I was actually very confident. JWC Reviews was actually in when I did one of my 4 streams, and I said it. I was confident that United could even challenge this year. Listen, we'd be lucky if we make the top 6 this season because the teams around us have bought really well, and they all have bought well, right? West Ham have bought well. Even Fulham have bought well, right? It's absolutely disgraceful. Buying Mason Mount when we didn't need him, when we needed another CDM and a CM, is just beyond me. I mean, Jesus Christ, in the last couple of days, Cucurella we wanted, but we couldn't afford to pay what Chelsea wanted. So then we turned our attention to another left back, and then that didn't look like it was viable. And then they go for this fella today, right? It's an absolute. United will be top 4, probably 4. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Listen, these players have already shown early in the season that okay, they came back against Nottingham Forest, but they have that in them, those 2 minutes. And you play like that against a team like Arsenal, Manchester City, fucking even Newcastle now, right? And if Chelsea get their act together, right, we're screwed. No, we are. We're screwed. It's time to face the reality of the situation that we're in. Manchester United are going to struggle to get top 4. It's the bottom line. I know these players. I watch these players week in, week out. I know their weaknesses. We're not making top 4. It's game over for top 4. Forget about it. Right? It's done. The only thing we can hope for is that these owners do sell before the January transfer window opens, and then we have a new owner and are able to go out and bring in reinforcements for Erik ten Hag. But right now, as it stands, right, we are not making top 4. Oh, I backed them. I'm not blaming the players. I won't blame the players or the manager, right? I will blame our fucking owners for not getting the players in that they should have gotten in. That's who I'll blame. I'm not going to blame them. We're going past blaming players and managers and all of this crap. This has got to do with the owners. I will back them on Sunday. I'll be here hoping and praying that we beat Arsenal like we did in pre-season. But pre-season was a different kettle of fish, of course. But I hope we do beat them. But we're in for a long season. We're in for a long season. I'm telling you. I don't know. I think everybody is underrating Newcastle United here. And this will be everybody's mistake, right? Newcastle United are going to do a lot better than people think. They will. I'm telling you. They've got a good team there, right? They've got a team that fight for each other. He's got plenty of cover in all of the positions as well now, he does. Eddie Howe has really bolstered that squad. And he's also brought in, obviously, Tonali, who's going to make, obviously, if they keep him fit, he's going to be a revelation there. Absolutely. United should have been going in for someone like that, or Barella, but we go in for Amrabat. That's the level we are at now, right now. No, we're not a better team than we were last year. Absolutely not. I disagree. Varane is injury prone. Martinez was taken off as well as a precautionary measure, right? Then you look behind those two if they get injured, then we have Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire, Johnny Evans. We don't have a good defence. We got rid of David De Gea. We brought in Onana. Yes, Onana has turned out to be a good signing, but we brought him in because he had particular attributes during pre-season. We've seen that, but we haven't seen it at all at the beginning of the season. It's like as if he's being told not to play the way he plays. And I think Eric Ten Hag got spooked during pre-season when Onana gave Dalot the ball, and Dalot missed past the ball, and Onana was off his line, and he got lobbed. And I think the manager got spooked because Onana hasn't done that since. So people will argue, well, if he's doing the same as David De Gea, then why didn't we just keep David De Gea, save money, and go for him next year and reinforce their midfield? So we brought in Amrabat, but we have Eriksen, who hasn't been the same since his injury, is not going to play all the time. Right? We've got Casemiro. He's not getting any younger, and we already seen in the first game he can't do it all on his own, because when he's left on his own, he's a headless chicken. He needs someone else in there. That's why he worked so well at Real Madrid. He had Modric there. He had Toni Kroos. He had other players there that if he didn't cover the ground, they were able to cover the ground. Right? Then we look at our midfield. We have Bruno. Right? And then the answer to bolster up their midfield was Mason Mount, who plays in the same position as Bruno Fernandes. So the manager decides to stick those two on a team, which unbalances the team completely. Right? Then we only bring in one striker. Anthony Martial is injury prone. He's not even going to last. He's going to get injured soon. Right? Then you're forcing Rashford then to go into the middle because he's the only one that scored goals. So then you either stick Jadon Sancho out on the left, or you're sticking someone else like Garnacho out on the left, who needs to be eased in still to this day. So, no, I don't think we are as strong as we were last season. We should have kept Fred if that's the case. And, we're keeping Scott McTominay. Fred, yeah, he irritates you. But Fred is a better player than Scott McTominay. Not without a shadow of a doubt. Right? We've just done our business horrible. Right, and we're relying on a kid up front to score us the goals. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. We should have two strikers. So I'm sorry, I don't see it. I don't see it. I believe we are weaker. We're weaker in key areas. If we hadn't got Bruno and Casemiro on that side, and you take those two players out that side, then look at our midfield. We are not stronger. We are not stronger. Absolutely not. And the teams around us have gotten stronger. And that's the problem. So, no, I don't think top four is realistic. I mean, it'd be a miracle if we get top four. And it'd be credit to the players and the manager. Because remember, a lot of people are also forgetting as well, and I can admit this as a Manchester United fan, we overachieved last year, right, with that squad of players. That's the same squad of players that failed every other fucking season. But we got a manager that had a plan and got the best out of those players, right? And we've already seen now that these same players that were consistent for a while have started off the season inconsistently now, right? And we have to rely on those players and then the players that he's brought in. And I don't care what anybody says, the Mason Mount signing is going to be a flop. I can already see it. He played a game where he had absolutely no touches. No, nothing. He's going to be a flop, and they give him the number 7 jersey. Nah. We're worse off. I just can see the reality of the situation. A lot of our fans need to wake up as well. This is bad. This is bad. If I don't see by the end of this transfer window that we haven't attempted to bring in another striker or at least centre back, someone on loan, the bolts are up, then we're in serious trouble. There you go. There's our defence getting destroyed right there. Like, I mean, Mo Salah destroyed us last year. And it's the same defence. And now Varane is picking up injuries left, right and centre. right? Martinez, yeah, he'll stay fit, but Martinez has a red card in him and he will be sent off at some stage. And then you're looking at your centre back pairing, and then it's either going to be Johnny Evans or Victor Lindelof or Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof or Harry Maguire, Johnny Evans. Right? We're fucked. We're fucked. Yeah, I mean, look, Varane is world class. The problem is that we didn't get we didn't get him earlier in his career. He's a fucking top class bleeding defender, but he ran after the ball there in the game. And fair play, he got the fucking ball and got the tackle, but he didn't come out at half time because he fucking did something to himself trying to chase down the ball. He just doesn't have it in him anymore. And it's not his fault. That's why he retired from international football. He's trying to prolong his career. And fair enough, he still is a great centre-back. He just hasn't got the mobility that he once had. And when you're playing for Manchester United and the Premier League as well, like in Spain or in France, you can get away with being a little bit slower, right? But in the Premier League, you have to be alert. And he does a great job for us, but the problem is he's injured all the time. So you got Harry Maguire, Johnny Evans, and Victor Lindelof. I'm sorry, but we're not stronger. We should have been our fourth business in the transfer window should have been a centre back, right? Or bringing in a striker, and it should have been Harry Kane, right? I didn't want Harry Kane, but that's who we were linked to. That's who they should have went for, and they should have went all out for him, but they didn't. Right, so we lost out on Harry. He wasn't going to wait around, and I'm delighted he's gone to Bayern Munich. I've seen a lot related to him. Fans like kind of giving him stick because he went to Germany. I mean, he's going to begrudge him winning trophies. I mean, he's done his dues at Spurs. He's entertained us in the Premier League for years. Do you not think he deserves to win something and not have any regrets in his career? So I'm actually glad he's gone to Bayern Munich. He has a better chance of winning something at Bayern Munich than he would at Man United, the way our business has turned out. But of course, I do believe if we had went for Harry Kane, our business probably would have been a bit different. We wouldn't be going in for Mason Mount then. But the Mason Mount signing is a waste of money. I just don't get that signing. That signing works if you're bringing in a CDM and a CM as well, because then you've got cover for Bruno, you've got cover for Casemiro, and you've got cover for Eriksen. I wouldn't play Casemiro as centre back. He plays Luke Shaw as centre back. He won't even play Harry Maguire, right? So I mean, Harry doesn't. You know, he rather played Luke Shaw in the centre back position than give Harry Kane. And I wouldn't play Casemiro as centre back because Casemiro has a red card in him as well, tackle wise. No, I wouldn't trust Casemiro. He doesn't have the pace either. If he's one on one with a pacey striker, sure, Casemiro, he's done for. He's done for. Listen, and again, it's like trying to fucking plug holes. We should just be fucking going out and buying a top class centre back, and we were linked to one. But we were lazy. He's gone to Bayern Munich as well. Two players that we were linked to at the start of the transfer window, Harry Kane and Kim Min Jae, right, are gone to fucking Bayern Munich. That's who we should have been signing. And then we should have went for Caicedo, who's gone to Chelsea. That's who we wanted, right? And then the Mason Mount signing works if you're bringing in a CM as well, right? The cover for fucking Eriksen and stuff. Because you're getting Eriksen to do a defensive job there. Again, Erik Ten Hag has to play midfielders out of position because he doesn't have midfielders. But yeah, we're selling our midfielders off. Yes, fans will agree that most of them deserve to be sold off because they're not good enough. But at the end of the fucking day, if you're not bringing in any to replace, well, then you are making yourself weaker. I just can't believe him. Shaw did well when he played the centre-back though. And he played, if I'm correct in saying, he played centre-back against Barcelona twice. And he was a fucking rock back there. So I actually have to disagree with you on that one. I think Luke Shaw just gets too much stick. I'm not saying that Luke Shaw is a world beater. He's far from it. But he's a very good player. He does have weaknesses in his game, right? But I think Erik ten Hag has improved them. And he's come a long way. But he still does need to improve on his game, absolutely. But I would rather have Shaw in centre-back and have Casemiro where he is. Well, I mean, look, when we bought him, he was an exciting talent, wasn't he? And then he got that injury. And as I said, he has never been the same since it. But neither was Valencia. But we did owe it to him to stick by him after he got that injury, and we did. And I think in some ways, he still, some fans will say he hasn't fully repaid back for sticking by him. But he did well last season. I'm not going to knock him for last season. He did well last season. He stepped up when the manager needed him, and he did. So, But when we get new owners, right, when it does eventually happen, these conversations will be irrelevant because I will be expecting Manchester United then to go out and buy best in class and bring in, potential young talent that have a chance, just like the way Brighton's doing it. See the way they bring in young talent after young talent after young talent. They bring them in for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 million, and then they're selling them then for 80, 90, 100 fucking million. Like, right? That's what the top clubs should be doing. Scouting around for that young talent. That's what United were good at doing back in the day. Scouting around, finding young talent, nurturing them, and then they burst into the first team. Now, we're still getting young talent breaking through, but not as much as we used to. Not as much as we used to. It's sad. So Nottingham Forest have signed Nicolas Dominguez from Bologna. So there's another deal that has been done. And Tottenham agree a fee with Nottingham Forest for Brendan Johnson. So Brendan Johnson is going to Tottenham. Again, some people will question some of Tottenham's signings, but I think Maddison is going to be a good signing for them. And Brendan Johnson, well, the jury's still out on Brendan Johnson, I've got to be honest with you, but if he turns out to have the potential that everybody thinks he has, that's a smart signing there as well. But it's obviously they're reporting on Liverpool right now at the moment, but we don't give a shit what business they do, to be quite honest with you. I don't really care. I mean, out of all the teams, I just don't like talking about that. I'll give Arsenal a few minutes. I'll give Newcastle, even Chelsea, even Man City. But Liverpool now, I won't talk about those dopes. I don't care what business they do anyway. There you go. And if they lose, the one thing I will be happy about, I hope they do lose Mo Salah. I hope he goes. Anyway, yeah. The Saudi League obviously have done a lot of business. And I do believe that in a couple of years' time, because remember, they are talking about expanding the Champions League. And I'm telling you now, all of this signing Ronaldo and the words that Ronaldo came out with, that this had the potential to be a great one of the top leagues in the world. And then all of a sudden, all of these players going there, right? And they're not just signing players that are coming to the end of their career. I mean, they've signed players as well, like Neves, who be considered to be in their prime and stuff. This is all heading one way, folks. Give it a couple of years, and Saudi Arabian teams will be in the Champions League. It's heading that way. because there's no way they're spending all that money bringing all of these players in if there isn't an end game. And it isn't just, and people will be naive to think that they just want to make this league one of the best leagues in the world. It's not. There's an end game to this. Getting into the Champions League is very lucrative as well. Remember, the Saudis have been buying up clubs all over Europe. They love the Champions League. It's got prestige, right? So if the Saudi league itself can get to a standard where it's a lot better than what it used to be, what's stopping them from getting in? Yeah, but I think the way the Chinese Super League did it wasn't viable. And you've seen it then. It's absolutely, nobody's hardly gone to China now. It doesn't happen. The Saudis are a bit more smart. They would have looked at the model that the Chinese league, the J League and all were using. And they would have learned from that. This has an end game. This is to get into European competition. And it will happen. It will happen because, you know, money talks. And money will talk at the end of the day. And they've even been talking about, this the last couple of years, of expanding the Champions League. And it already has, because 5 English clubs now will get an opportunity to qualify for the Champions League rather than the 4. So it's all already happening, the expansion, right? The Champions League is going to end up being absolutely watered down, because the more players, or the more teams they need to get into it, they'll expand it. It'll be like, they'll probably rename it as well. It'll be your European competition with all teams around Europe, and it'll be diluted because there'll be teams there, let's be honest, that shouldn't be there, right? And of course, people will say, well, the cream of the crop will rise to the top eventually, and then you'll have great not. But that's fine, fair enough. But you're going to have a lot of games that are going to have one-sided results and stuff like that, and it's just not going to work. But there is, I'm telling you now, man, this is all going one way. And people and you know what? The one thing I will say, it didn't matter whether you were a Liverpool fan or a United fan or a Tottenham fan or an Arsenal fan or a Chelsea fan. As soon as we all heard about that European, that Super League, we were all outraged, and we all came together as one to fucking condemn that shit, and they quickly rolled back on that. But this, I'm telling you, this is why they're buying up players, and they're also eventually going to start attracting managers. They've got ex-Wolves manager there. They've also got Steven Gerrard there. Right? Okay, Steven Gerrard wouldn't be considered a top manager. Let's be honest about it. He's a shit manager, but he'd probably do okay over there. Right? But, you know, you got Wolves ex-manager and Spurs manager, what's his name? Nuno, whatever his fucking name is. Anyway, he's over there. They'll attract more big managers. And once you do that, then, you know, they will have an idea what players the Saudi League should be bringing in, and they will consult with each other what players. I mean, you've seen it, man. Some of the teams that, before all of these players were bought, you were looking at them. And I'm looking at them now, and they're full of French internationals, Spanish internationals, and I'm like, Portuguese international. And I'm going, holy shit, this league. I mean, no, yeah, that's the one. Espirito Santo Nunes. Isn't that Nunes? Spirit? Yeah. So he's over there. They're going to attract more managers as well. So, I mean, the end game to this, look, they're in the golf now. Now they've merged with the golf. Remember, there was a big fucking thing. Now they've merged with the golf. They're interested in darts, snooker, you know, but the Chinese market have the snooker right now. So I think it'll be a long time before the Saudis will get their hands on that. because the players love playing in China when it comes to the snooker. I love the snooker myself, by the way. So I love snooker, man. I've even bought snooker game there. I started off with a lower ranked player, and I've got to make my way up now through the rankings. It's actually pretty good, man. I'm enjoying it. But the Saudis are interested in sport, you know, and I'm mad for it. But, you know, also at the same time, you know, they know all of these things are worth a lot of money, you know, and generate a lot of money. So everything that the Saudis do is aimed towards making money as well. So they may have spent a lot of money, but they're hoping to recoup that. Is this a Newcastle? What does that jersey look like to you? Oh, you're one of those United fans that is like, oh, United's away jersey looks like Newcastle United. Just goes to show you how much you understand your history. Go back and look at classic United jerseys, and you'll see what this jersey is. This jersey is a homage, just like all three jerseys are homages to jerseys that we had in the past. Okay. And it says Noel the Red Devil, and it clearly has the Manchester United patch on the jersey. So either you're just taking the piss or you don't like the jersey like most fans don't. And that's fine, but keep your comments to yourself, because I like the jersey. And I also have the white one and I have the red one too. Now, anyway, let's see. We won't do any of the championship stuff because I'm not interested in that. Just the Premier League stuff. So, as I said, Nottingham Forest buying up players there as well. It looks like until obviously it's going to go a bit silent on United's side of things now. Probably. I don't think we're going to sign any more people. But hopefully we do, because we need them, whoever they are. God knows who we're looking at. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised who we're trying to bring in. But we have signed 3 players on deadline day. A goalkeeper, a midfielder, and see, I don't even. Oh yeah, and a left back, because apparently we need 3 left backs. Like, or I figured that out. I know why he's brought in another left back. Luke Shaw will come back and will be fit, but you see, because he doesn't trust Harry Maguire, or he doesn't trust the centre backs that we have behind the 2 main centre backs, that's what's going to happen. Luke Shaw is going to play in centre back. And that's how he's going to bolster up the numbers at centre back. So there you go. And that's what I reckon is going to happen. He'll play Luke Shaw a lot more centre back. He will. If Varane is injured, when Varane comes back. Right back cover. Well, he'll play the low right back with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He won't keep the low at left back. He likes to switch his wing backs around sometimes as well. So again, it's all about where he's going to play these players. I mean, we should be doing better business than this. I'm sorry, but we really should. It's absolutely ridiculous. Oh, Andy Carroll's gone to the French second tier. How is that fella even getting any clubs is beyond me. Benfica midfielder Paulo Bernardo is moving to Celtic. A loan move. I wonder how Daniel feels about that one. Oh, they've also lost a midfielder. So they've replayed good business there. So yeah, let me know, you guys in the chat. Let me know, are you expecting any more signings from your team? And if you are, who he is linked to, and do you think he will get them before the transfer window closes, or is your transfer business done? And if you're happy with it, rate the transfer window out of 10. Obviously, 10 being great and 1 being absolutely dire. So JWC reviews, Arsenal got their business. Yeah, they did. They did. The way we used to do it back in the day, mate. The way we used to do it back in the day. But yeah, you did. So what would you rate our transfer window out of 10 there, JWC reviews? Let me know. So I don't think we're gonna kind of, because remember as well, obviously there'll be people working on the deals and all of that, but it's the last few hours, obviously, that will be exciting. So we'll stay on for a few more minutes and we'll see if there's anything else. But as I said, I just think our window is a shambles. You give Man United a 4. I was actually talking about what would you rate your transfer window out of. I wouldn't give ours a 4 at all. I would give ours a 1. Maguire's not getting into this team. He's not getting into this team. The only way Maguire gets into this team is if we have an absolute nightmare at centre back and we lose more players. But he's not getting into this team because the manager thinks he has the ability to play there. He doesn't. And Harry only has himself to blame because he should have went to West Ham when the deal was offered. And then apparently now he realises that he's not going to get his game. And apparently he's changed his mind. But then West Ham says, well, we only want to take him on loan now because it's a bit late to be going in, which is rightly fair enough. But United rejected it. So Harry now is in limbo and he's only himself to blame. I've no sympathy. He deserves it. And he should rot. He should rot in the reserves. I don't want to see him in the squad at all. I don't want to see him. He's a rat bag as well. Sorry, I'll say it. Fans won't say he's a rat bag. Right? We know he was one of the leaks in the club as well. We got rid of Pogba. We got rid of Dean Henderson, who was another leak. And we all know that Harry Maguire was another leak as well. Right? He was never good enough. We wasted 80 million quid on him. I remember when we even bought him, I said, we are a laughing stock. Leicester saw us coming a mile away. 80 million. Yeah, we'll take 80 million for Harry Maguire. Absolutely, Manchester United rubbing their fucking hands. Rightly fucking so. Fair fucking play to Leicester. Right? And I remember we were also linked to Vertonghen at the time, who was a cheaper fucking option. And we decided to go for Harry. Seriously, man. He is. I've watched this team a long, long time. And he is up there as one of the biggest fuck-ups when it comes to bringing player transfers as well. He is the biggest flop. He's up there as the biggest flop we've ever. I'm sorry, but he is. I don't care if he plays well for England, right? He doesn't play well for Manchester United, right? And that's all I give a fuck about. I don't give a fuck about England, right? And when he said that he didn't need to prove himself, right? That's when I said he needs to go, right? Because if you're not willing to prove yourself and give everything for that fucking badge, right? Well, then you're unfit to be a Manchester United player, right? You're unfucking fit. Fucking cheek of him. Every time you put that jersey on, you knobhead, you've got to prove yourself that you're worthy of wearing that jersey. And the fact that you're arrogant and you think you don't need to prove that to anybody, I would say you actually do. I would say you actually do. You haven't done it in years. Right? I don't know how you've even managed to have the career that you have. You're one lucky son of a bitch. And then when the deal was there, and West Ham must have been mad though to offer you the captaincy as well, right? To sweeten the deal. But by God, Jesus Christ, you had an opportunity to still play in Europe and to play with a decent. And look at the business they've actually done now. They've actually done decent business, and then that's why you change your mind. I want to go to West Ham now. Well, you're not going. Fuck you, too late. You're in the reserves now. I wouldn't even put you in the first team squad. Yeah, I wouldn't even put you as part of the squad. I'll let you rot until December. End the fucking story. You should have took the payoff that you were given, but you wanted more. You were greedy, so you can rot. Another little rat bag that we need to get rid of, and we will eventually get rid of him. But we need to get rid of that rat bag. The one thing I want from United players is fucking loyalty and not the shit talk. We know what the owners have done to the club. It's not your job to tell us how bad it is. We know how bad it is. Your job on the pitch is to fucking perform and put a smile on their face because it is fucking bad upstairs and in the board fucking room. Right? You're going out with stupid statements saying, I don't need to prove myself. You need to fucking prove everything or get the fuck out of our club. Simple as that. And that goes for every other Manchester United player in that dressing room. Let's make one thing fucking clear. Every time you put this fucking jersey on and you wear that fucking badge, you've got to prove yourself every single fucking time. And if you drop those standards, you can get the fuck out of our club. I'm not putting up with this shit anymore. Right? It's about time now that these players took their fucking fingers out of their backsides and actually fucking showed what it is to be a fucking Manchester United player. Right? And if you have the same stinking attitude as Harry Maguire, well, then I'll say the same. Get the fuck out of the club and go with him. There you go. Breaking news. Jonny Evans signs 1-year deal at Manchester United. Here's the joke now. It's breaking. Jonny Evans, Sergio Reguilon, Mason Mount, Onana, and Amrabat. That's our transfer business. And this is apparently going to elevate us even further than what we did last year. I am now going to go and have a cry because, yes, that is not happening. There you go. What a joke. What an absolute joke of a club we are. Jonny Evans, I said it on the She Devils and all I did. One of the very first streams that she did, and we were talking about Jonny Evans getting the extension for pre-season. And I said it in that chat time. I says, I guarantee you we'll end up signing Jonny Evans, right? And they laughed at me, right? Rightly so, because even saying it, right? Even saying it sounds crazy. We have re-signed Jonny Evans, a player that West Brom, as you said. Now do you see where I'm coming from, JWC Reviews? Now do you see where I'm coming from? Mate, if this was Arsenal, right, I don't think you'd be sitting here saying you've had a decent transfer window, right? If you signed the same players that we've just signed, you wouldn't say it was great business. You wouldn't. I know you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't, because even some of you are kind of moaning the fact that he's brought in Havertz, right? I know you wouldn't. You wouldn't be happy with that. So I don't know why it's acceptable for me to be. This is awful, mate. This is awful. I don't know, but I'm sick of filling holes in their squad. We're Manchester United. We're fucking Manchester United, man. We're not supposed to be fucking filling holes in. Yeah, but we're depending too much on that kid. And not look at, while I think this is a gamble, I have actually said United need to take gambles. They have with this young lad. I'll back him. I'll back him. I'll give him time because I know he's a young striker. He will need time. But if I see the potential there and I see what everybody's ranting and raving about, I'll be happy. He doesn't have to score week in, fucking week out. I'd love him to fucking score week in, week out. But if he can in his first season at least get 10 to 15 goals, I'm just saying, just for his first season, if he can, stay fit, get 10 to 15 goals, I'll be happy with that for the first season. Right? I have no issue with us signing him or Onana, right? But I do believe we could have left Onana for another season and kept David De Gea and got the centre back in. And I know people think I'm mad, but David De Gea, yeah, he had a mistake or two in him. Yeah, everybody's absolutely right. But I weigh it up against how many points that bloke has saved us over the years and how many points he saved us during that same season. And let's be honest, he won us more points than he lost us. We could have signed Kim Min-jae, right, and brought in him. That would have strengthened us already. Varane is injury prone, so then you put him in and Martinez. That would have been a fucking epic centre back pairing, right? So you bring him in, you forget about Mason Mount, you bring in Caicedo, right? And then you bring in another midfielder, right? Then you bring in your young striker, and then you would have been able to bring in another striker as well. And then you do your loan deals for your left back because, Luke Shaw's gotten himself fucking injured. Then we would accept that. But that's the type of business we should have been doing. But we've signed Johnny Evans. I said it. I knew this was going to happen. Now, what makes this worse is this. Number one, if Harry had moved, we would have had money. But I'm not going to blame Harry on it all the way. But if he had left, we'd have money there. I just want to make that. And that is a fair point to make. But here's the thing that sickens me. They've got a bank loan, right? The Glazers. They've actually got a US Bank of America loan there if they need money to invest into the squad. And it won't affect, by the way, what they get for the club. But they've decided not to enact that bank loan. Now, that's 100 million. That would be automatically available for the manager. Right? So could you imagine in the next couple of hours if Ten Hag knew there was 100 million there? Right? It's not impossible to get deals done on the very last day. You know that. But could you imagine what we could do with that 100 million? And yeah, because it is the last day of the transfer window, we probably would have to pay a little bit over the odds for some of these players. But could you imagine who we could bring in? We could bring in those reinforcements and really bolster the squad. Well, he is going to give some of the young... This is the only bright spark, I suppose. Pellistri was... all summer, and it's baffled United fans. Apparently, the manager wanted to send Pellistri out on loan, and we were like, well, what you send him out on loan for? He's the only player that actually, when he comes onto the pitch, he's actually causing problems for people's defences, right? And he's being fouled left, right. So why would you send him out? So apparently the manager's copped on, and he's staying now. So that's good news. But apparently he's given Hannibal a chance, which I don't think is good enough. Kobe Mainoo, who got injured, he's the player I'm looking to see get into the squad because he has the potential and he kept Declan Rice quiet. I know it was Declan Rice's first game, so we can't read too much into that. But he did have Declan Rice in his pocket, and it was a good game for him. And the kid showed that he can do it at a top level. But then he got injured in the very next game, and the referees over in America are absolutely shocking. By the way, I've been watching the LMS, right? I mean, the refereeing over there is shocking, man. You should see some of the tackles that they get away with over there. I mean, potential leg breaks and all. Do you know what? In some ways, it's funny. It reminds me of the English game back in the day, where it's just tackles flying in everywhere. Busquets pushed the referee and all he did, man, with Inter Miami. They get away with a lot of shit over there. But look, there you go. So Jonny Evans has officially signed a 1-year deal at Manchester United, and that is why every of our rival fans are going to be laughing at us until the end of time. JWC Review says he'll catch me at 9. You will indeed. I will be back at 9. It's from 9 to 10, folks. I may actually go a little bit early, 15 minutes early than normal at 8:45, so I can finish up at 10, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be here at 10 o'clock tonight, and we're going to be covering the final hour of the transfer window, and we'll see then. So Jonny Evans has been signed, Sergio Reguilon, we've got Amrabat coming in as well, and we've signed that goalkeeper. And we'll see if there's any outgoings or if there's any more incomings a little bit later. So we'll be back at 10 p.m. I will put that stream up as soon as we leave here. I'll be back at 10 p.m. So come and join me, folks, because it'll be the last hour of the transfer window, and then obviously we will know if we have actually brought in anybody else or if that is it for the transfer business. But if I was to make a prediction, I think that is Manchester United's business done, and by the time we come back, we will probably get that news that the business is done. So come and join me. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, please. Let me know in the comment section what you think of Manchester United's transfer window. Are you happy with it? If not, let me know. But I just think it's been an absolute shambles of a transfer window. Our owners would want to hang their heads in shame, and we're in for another long, hard season, folks. But we get behind them. We get behind the manager. We get behind the players, and let's pray for miracles, because that's what we need right now, folks. And I'm sorry to be doom and gloom, but I'm not going to shield away from the fact that this is an absolute dire and disgraceful transfer window, and our owners ought to be ashamed of themselves. Fucking signing Jonny Evans on a year deal. I mean, what the fuck are we? We're a serious club, by the way. We're a serious club, apparently. Yeah. Anyway, talk to you at 10 o'clock. As I said, the stream will be put up right after I'm finished this one, and I will pin it to the channel. So go and check it out. Come and join me at 10 o'clock, folks. Give me your opinions. Let me know what you think. But I actually think that this is a shambles of a window. Let me know if you agree in the comment section. And please, folks, let people know about this channel. We really do appreciate all the support that you have given us since we started this. And as you can tell, I'm just going to be out straight with my opinions and true to my beliefs and what I believe the way this team should play. And I'm not going to shield or hide behind that. But also, you know, unlike some channels out there, we will give praise when the team deserves praise. You know, a lot of people out there say, you know, I play well, but he didn't play with you know what I mean? We want to be as honest as we can, but we're not going to be. At the end of the day, as I said, we need to get behind these players this season, especially, and Erik ten Hag, because they've been let down again by these owners. And it's going to be a long, hard season, folks. And Jonny Evans has just signed for us on a year extension. I said it when I first started doing streams. And again, when I said about the Glazers selling right? I said this. We will sign Johnny Evans. I just knew as soon as he came back, right? And he said, well, we were giving him a short-term contract for pre-season. I knew there and then that wasn't the case, right? We were always going to be offering him a deal, right? And especially after Harry Maguire, didn't go. It didn't matter whether he left or not. Johnny Evans was always getting that year deal. Because here's the thing, folks, and this just goes to show you how stupid Harry Maguire actually is and should have took the deal at West Ham. Eric Ten Hag might be saying all the things he's saying in the press, but he rates Johnny Evans over Harry Maguire. And that's why Johnny Evans, excuse me, has gotten that year deal. But it's a shambles. Kim Min-jae was there for the taking and we bottled it, right? Last summer, Frankie de Jong was there for the taking, we bottled it, right? And 1 year, I've seen it on the screen there and I'm just sick. I'm just sick. And it's no disrespect to Johnny Evans. Look, he played for United. I do consider him when we had him a very good squad player that did well for us, right? He has his legacy at United, but this just goes to show you how much we've fallen. That we're relying on a 37-year-old. I think he's 37 this year, or he is 37 and he's going on 38. I mean, Johnny Evans is the type of player, no offense, that should be signed for either a League One or a League Two team, or even because he can't do it. We've seen it. He's with West Brom. Could he do it in the Championship? I don't think so. But we think he could do a job here. It's a fucking joke. As I said, I'll be back at 10 o'clock tonight, folks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 hours from now. 4 hours and 10 minutes. We will be back for the last hour of the deadline day. Let's hope Manchester United do pull a couple of rabbits out of the hat before then. But I do believe that Johnny Evans will be the last signing. And they will say that this has been great business and all of this. Well, I can tell you now that the fans... I'm going to tell you now, it's time for all the fans now to stop making excuses, right? Okay? That transfer window is not good enough, right? So I'll say it again, right? Apparently the sit-in was successful and I did see the video and 10,000 fans stayed behind. And they were singing Glazers and all of that and it looked amazing. But you're not going to make a statement by doing that now. We're gone past sit-ins. The only way that you're going to get these owners out now is to do what you have all been reluctant to do the last couple of years, but a lot of fans have been calling you to do it. And that is to empty Old Trafford and embarrass these owners when we're playing some of the top teams. It's the only way that we're going to fix this club and get what we want as fans, right? And you know what? For me, I've seen us win everything, right? So I've tasted that success, right? But I've always known that when Ferguson left, that the rebuild was going to take some time. And I was always going to, but it shouldn't have took this long. And that's the problem I have. As I said, I don't mind watching Manchester United if we put everything in the game. And if the result hasn't gone our way, it's like hard luck. You know, we're pissed about the result, but we're saying the team did well. These owners have not given the managers, any of our managers, the tools to do the job that they've needed to do. They've let down David Moyes. No matter what you think of David Moyes as a manager, they let him down. Right? They let Louis van Gaal down. Right? They let fucking Jose Mourinho down. Right? No matter what you think of them, they let all these managers down. Ralph Rangnick came in. He identified players that United should go for. All of those players have gone to all the other top teams, right? But they didn't back him either, right? And he was a disaster. Ollie, poor Ollie, you know, he brought back some good times to the club. I'll forever be grateful for him, because I had fallen out of love with my team. A lot of us had. And Ollie came in and we went on that winning streak. And he brought belief back into our club and made us believe in those players again. And then look what they did to him and how they treated Ollie. Right? No matter what you think, whether he was a PE teacher, some years called, or you didn't think he had it to be Manchester United manager, or you do think he had it to be Manchester United manager. Look how the club treated him. And then even though he wanted to do the interview, right, any club with a bit of decency would have said to Ollie, listen, leave it, mate. We could tell that you're upset. You're just torturing yourself at this stage. The fans know how much this club meant to you. And we saw that with the interview. When he broke down, I was in tears as well with him, right? Because we'd fallen so hard. And the way we treated a legend like that. I watched this player when he first came to United and what he done to United. He's the most underappreciated player that we actually have had in that squad. He was a fucking legend and still is. He hasn't tarnished his reputation as far as I'm concerned. But look at the way we treated him. Right? And we'll do the same to Erik ten Hag. Make no mistake about it. If this goes pear-shaped for him in this second season, they will end his contract. And I think we do have potentially one of the greatest managers right now at the club. The problem is he's had to do a lot of tinkering with his team. He's had to make players adapt their game to fit into a style of play. He's not even doing Erik ten Hag ball. He's trying to do a hybrid. That's because these players, which is another shocking revelation to me, I just think there's a lot of players in that squad that just can't adapt. So he's had to find some middle ground to kind of incorporate his beliefs and the way these players have been playing over the years and play a style of football that will actually work for us. And for a lot of last season, we saw that, but in some games, it obviously fell apart for no particular reason. Things just, that Liverpool result will haunt me for the rest of my days. And we've had some bad results against teams, but that one was hard to stomach. After that game, actually, I remember the wife was in the room because she was listening to a bit of music on her computer, but she could hear how bad I was. I was in a heap. I literally, every goal going in, I was just screaming. But by the time I got to the fourth goal, I actually got to the point where I couldn't scream or get angry anymore, and I start crying. I actually start crying. And I was like that against Nottingham Forest. I actually got welled up on stream. I got very upset. We've fallen so far behind, it's unfucking believable. Yeah, and I don't think fans realise how bad we actually are. People need to open their eyes. We are in for a long, hard season. Anyway, I'll be back in 5 hours' time. 4 hours' time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 hours' time. Come and join me, folks. I'll talk to you very soon. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you do like what I do here, please let everybody know about the channel because it does help. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.